Hi there, how you doing? It's Woody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It has been a while since I've uploaded a video. I experimented with streaming live, and that didn't really work out that well because of my upload speeds. I thought I had them ready to go, so we're just gonna play around today. This is Mount Gable. By the way, like and subscribe if you enjoy this YouTube channel. This is Mount Gable. I started this city probably 3 months ago, maybe longer than that. It feels like forever. I've just been chipping at it away slowly. It has come with a multitude of problems. I've been experiencing a lot of traffic problems in there and supply problems. And the thing of it is, it's a really beautiful city. I just don't have much of a connection to it because I'm always trying to put out little fires here and there. But overall, I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. My traffic, if I check here, is, whoops, let's go to info views. Traffic is running at around 78%, which is really horrible. This is one of my biggest problem areas here in my downtown area. It was poorly designed. I thought it was working well overall, but it really wasn't. And I've tried to do several fixes, but I just haven't been able to really come up with anything that's helping, and part of it is because it's right in the middle of my city. There's probably not enough rail traffic going through there or public transportation, and so eventually I'm going to probably come back and try and fix some of that. I built this diverging diamond. This is causing some major traffic hassles here. This is like Los Angeles commute time. And there's really not a whole lot I can do about it at this point. So I've got the city pretty much built up around it as I'm approaching, well, I just made it over 52,000 people. So I'm just going to deal with it for now and actually try and finish the city. But I'm just going to give you a brief tour of what Mount Gable looks like. There is Mount Gable. I actually built it into the map, and I don't remember the official name of this map, but it was one of the new ones that came with the last expansion. So this is farm country right out here, which is part of the industries expansion, along with forestry over here. We've got some industrial and processing plants and things of that nature. Again, a pretty city overall. I've got some suburban areas over here with a nice little waterfall that I built, and I like the way that turned out. Some apartment complexes over here, which I really like the way that they turned out using the historical feature. I'm a huge fan of the historical feature. And then as we work our way around the city, we have some ore mining over here. And this is one of the problems that I can't figure out. I can't get my ore mine to go, this excavator. And it says that I don't have enough people, not enough buyers for products, which I haven't been able to figure out yet. I might need to build a few more factories. I'm going to see if that works. And more suburban neighborhoods, some factories. We go to the edge of the map over here. Again, this is all suburban. This is my oil area. And I'm continuing to build houses up here. That allows me to build some low-density residential up there. And again, it's a really pretty map, and I thought my highway design overall was pretty decent, but this is one of the worst problems that I've had. This is a harbor over here. One of the challenges that I had with this map was when I was picking the tiles, I picked them wrong. So I don't have a way for shipping to come in. For instance, if I were to try and put a cargo hub in here somewhere, we'll just pick this one. There's no lane out going out to sea. Doesn't matter where I am on the map, so I can't really get close. So I can't bring in goods by sea, and that's posed its own set of challenges there. So people can't get their cars and their TVs and their iPhones and things like that. And that disappointed me because this was going to be a gigantic cargo hub and, you know, kind of an import. So I made this a fishing harbor, and I actually really like the way this turned out. This turned out to be very pretty, actually. And again, I love the way the city looks, but I am just tired of the challenges. So I put up some quays over here, some seawalls, and I just really enjoy this area. This is another little thing that I did this time. I put some rocks here along the edge where I have dirt. Normally I would use a terraforming tool and I would eliminate all of that dirt there, but I decided to put rocks in and I thought it gave it a nice aesthetic feature. And so today there were a few things that I wanted to get to. This is kind of my last commercial center, if you will. And then in this area, this is the last bit of area that I have to fill. This was an old abandoned factory that came with the map, and so I wanted to kind of build around that and add some ambiance to it with some other factories. So this is going to be a factory area in here, and then I think we're going to maybe do a little more commercial up here, or a zoo possibly, and then I want to turn some of this into residential as well too, some high-end residential, and so that's what I'm planning on working on today. The other thing that I wanted to check on was, let's see, right in the middle of my downtown, I decided to build some housing areas, and I'm trying to do some row houses here, and this is always a challenge. I got a new one, so I got to capture it real quick with the historical feature. So I want all of these to look the same. And there's my new one. Welcome to the neighborhood. Glad you're on board. There's another one. This might be a new one too. Nope. So I'm just deleting houses so that I can get them all uniform. And I would also like the rest of the row to kind of look like these right here. What is the name of this? No, we don't want to destroy that. That would have been awful. The forest residence, and then these are the hemlock residence. I'm sure they give them all different names. Yeah, they sure do. But I like this old Victorian style of house. And I kind of like this more urban living. It looks like it's been repurposed for urban living, and so I would like a row of those here. And so I'm deleting them until I get what I want. And I'm doing every other one, and then I fill in the middle. For instance, I can fill this area in now too. And I think when this gets done, when I eventually get it done, because I've preserved all of these older looking buildings, this is going to look like a really nice neighborhood. And, you know, without mods, this is the kind of stuff that you have to do. If we had mods, we could just plop it right down. But that's part of the challenge of working with console on Xbox. But that's one of the reasons why I actually like doing it. And that did not come up right, so we're going to delete that. Yeah, again, it's kind of a pain in the butt. But usually what I do is I go and build, and then I come back and check and see how the progress is going. This is also not going to be one of the houses that I want, I think. Yeah. Part of me wants to leave that old house there, but we'll see what happens. It doesn't help me achieve my goals here. And I've also got another row of these things somewhere over here that I built. Oh yeah, here they are. Starting to come up. I want them all to look like these end apartment buildings here. So they have to get to the second level. And so I'm going to delete that one because it doesn't look right, and we'll come back to that in a little bit. What I do, one of the things that I like to do is decorate all of my, I like the landscape around everything, including all of my interchanges. I put a lot of fences and a lot of trees in. And as I'm passing by through this area, you'll notice that I've got some supply problems here. There aren't enough goods being sold. And of course, eventually that building will go abandoned, which I hate, drives me crazy. So what I want to do is put an industrial area over here and then connect that via here, just so that I can get some goods into this area. I was having that problem earlier, and then I built this cargo transport hub, this airport hub right here, and that really kind of helped save a lot of the area because I was having some serious supply issues, and so that seemed to help a lot because I haven't been able to figure it out. I think one of the issues is that when you have industries, if you decide to use industries in the beginning, then you don't get industrial demand through the normal way. It takes a very long time, and you also don't get the office demand. So I think on my next map, what I'm going to do is leave industries out until the last part of it, and I'm going to experiment with that and see how it works. And if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. So let's get right to work. I've been babbling on enough. Babble, babble, babble. I'm going to start putting in some fences, and we're going to beautify this area. And as you can see, I'm already having some traffic issues, some serious traffic issues in this area. I'm sure it's in the light red. But again, I'm going to wait till I get done with most of the map, and then I'm going to come back and address my traffic issues. Or I might just be done with this city and just start new. I've had so many headaches. I'm going to take off the snapping options here. And we're just going to run a fence line along here. And if you don't use a lot of fences, or if you're really not that big into it, they really can beautify a city. I'm not one of those people that likes to play with for population. I actually enjoy just building cities, getting very creative. And so I never play in traditional mayor mode. Where you get a budget and all that stuff. I like to get in the nitty gritty and just go for it. All right, come on, there you go. And I've always liked these zoo walls to kind of make they look like concrete barriers to me, and I like to use them as highway entrance ramps and exit ramps. I like to use them there. So that's what I'm going to do here. And I like to follow right along this dirt path when I'm building them as kind of a guide so that I know exactly what I'm doing. And then once we get it down here, I'm going to put in a traditional fence if it will let me, because I may have gotten that a little too close. Let's switch it up and just go to more of a rural fun fence. Yeah, that's going to let me do that. That's going to look nice. And so what I'm going to do with the rest of this area is just color it in with some trees, paint in some grasses. We'll go with some smaller grasses here and just pretty up the neighborhood. I also like to cover up where the concrete, where the foundations of the buildings meets the grass. I've never found it to be a great transition on console, and it always looks a little strange to me. It doesn't blend in particularly well, and because of the tools that we have or lack thereof, you have to get creative. And so that's what I do here. Just make it look pretty, kind of like Bob Ross. Adds to the depth of the city, the flavor of the city. This is also bothering me here too, this interchange. It has just plain grass on it, and that's something you would never see in real life, so we're just going to add in some grasses and twist and turn them so they don't all look the same. Maybe some rocks in there as well too, and I think it really adds a lot to the city when I do this, and I'm so glad that I don't have to maintain any of this, because this would be a pain if this was real life and you had to go out there with a tractor and mow it. I actually moved into a new house here in Colorado Springs. My wife and I did. My wife, Elisa, and I moved into a new house. And one of the reasons that we decided to move was because our old yard just had too much yard. And I was out there constantly trying to work on making sure it was maintained for the HOA, which can be a pain in the butt. And so my new yard is much smaller, but my dog Bruce, who is used to running around like crazy in that yard, he has a much smaller yard now. So he's somewhat disappointed in our choice, but he also likes coming into the basement where I am right now because we have a finished basement, and so it's turned into a rec room for us. Let's do a few little trees and a few more bushes and trees here. But he loves the carpeting downstairs. He can really get his grip in and chase around his squeaky toys. Bruce, my dog. He is a little 9-pound terrier that we adopted about 6 years ago, and I love him to death. We went out for a walk this morning, and we had a good time. The weather's been a little warm in Colorado this year overall. Let's see. Oh, something else I wanted to do here was finish up this fence. So if you can give me a little time. Well, so what the yard does, my yard outside, what that allows me to do is spend more time doing this and hanging out with you. No, boy, that's going to be a kind of a wonky situation here. And this is not going to turn out exactly like I would like, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. When we're showing this city off, when it ends, I very rarely just zoom into the fences that I've plopped. And we'll bring that to there. And then, hey, cooperate. Oh, look at that. That'll work. Not the prettiest I've ever done, but it'll work for now. All right, I'm going to go back and check on my... Oh, did we get another one? Yep, we sure did. This is how anal I am about this game. Most people do not have the patience to go through and check on a particular row of apartment buildings to make sure that they all look unified and the same. But I think it just adds so much character to a city when you take the time out to do stuff like that. And we did not get the houses that we wanted over here. So we're going to come back and we're going to throw up another one here. I hope you're having a good day. I know COVID, in some cases, depending on the person, is giving people more time to play and experiment with the game. And a lot more people working from home, looking for things to do, since you can't always go out to your favorite bar or restaurant. You can't go to the movie theaters. Well, I mean, you can, depending on where you live. They've started opening some of that up now. All right, so let's continue to kind of beautify this area. I'm actually going to keep this area open here. But I do want to put a fence along the highway just to kind of enclose that. Do you ever stare at traffic and it makes you dizzy when it's going around fast like that on this game? All right, let's curve that around here. And we're going to bring that in here. I've been doing this for so long that I'm pretty fast at putting up fences along highways now. I've got it down to a T. I'm also really good at taking the tiles that they gave with the Park Life menu and filling in tiles. And people are like, how do you get your tile work so done? Because the tiles don't snap. And it just takes a lot of practice. It's like anything else. That's what I've decided to dedicate my time to. As a matter of fact, with this area here, I always forget what this unique building is. What is this? Oh, a stadium? Is that really what they call it, a stadium? That must be like an indoor stadium. I didn't realize. I thought it was the Opera House, but the Opera House is different. Anyway, I wanted to put some tiles here. And I think we are going to go with the City Park tile. Those white ones. We'll put in some flowers and a few extras. So tiles don't snap, and so that can make things tricky. And they seem to go one way or the other. And it looks like this is going to veer off to the left eventually. So I'm going to start it closer to the edge here. And I think you'll see what I mean here. So I'm just going to go straight up. Let's see if we can fit a third row in there. Maybe, maybe not. Come on, come on, come on. No! Denied. It reminds me of high school when asking girls out. Denied. I want to fit 3 rows in there, or I'm going to spread it out and just do 2 rows, but I'm determined. I bet I can make this work. I bet I can make this work. Okay, so we're going to start way over here. Gives you a little leeway there. Oh, yeah. There we go. Tiles take a little bit of practice. Okay, so let's put a cute little fence around that. How about this fence? Let's go with this fence, actually. And the issue with tiles is that the fences, because of the graphics, they turn the color. The fences turn the color of the tile, and there's nothing you can really do about that unless you are able to leave yourself a lot of extra dirt. So part of this will look a little odd, but it's the thought that counts, right? All right, let's add some flowers to that. When they added Park Life is definitely my favorite expansion pack. Not everybody would agree. A lot of people would say it's Industries or another expansion pack, but Park Life just added so much more control for people like me who love to decorate cities. I'm going to put a few of these bushes on the edge here. And some trees. Can never have enough trees. Okay, that looks pretty nice. It's nice to break up the urban areas a little bit with something that looks pretty. So I'm going to save this area. If I ever get any industrial demand, what I'd like to do is put some industry in there as well too. I don't know if that's going to happen because of the aforementioned issues that I've been having. And we'll just do some trees in this area as well too. How about that? I've got a little school right there. I should put a fence around it, but I'm not going to. And this is what I do for all of my urban areas. I like to spend a lot of time just beautifying them. Hey, we got another one. Ding, ding, ding. I got to remember which one it is. I think it's this one right here. Yep, sure is. And that one too. Okay, just 4 more to fill. You're probably thinking to yourself, this guy's nuts. Why would he ever spend that much time? How's traffic flowing into this downtown area? Not too terribly bad. It's not great. But it is filling in nicely. I also wanted to get some fences going up around here as well too. But before I do that, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, this is a diverging diamond interchange that I build. These are really fun to build. And they can be effective with traffic control, although the other diverging diamond interchange that I built is really starting to clog up with traffic now. And again, after I kind of get situated here and do what I want to do, I'm going to go back and fix traffic. And sometimes it's one of those situations where you can't wait because your city's not going to grow any further until you get your traffic fixed, because traffic really is the key to this game. And since we don't have a traffic manager, you have to get creative. So what I want to do for this area is I want to create an industrial zone where we can put some factories. And I want to keep this, well, I really don't have to. I wanted to keep it perpendicular to the interstate here, kind of like what I'm doing up there. But since this kind of swerves all over the place, I really don't need to do that. And so maybe it'll add some character here. So let's see. What kind of road do I want to use coming off this? We're going to use, I think, a larger industrial road. And I'm going to go to my snapping options. Yeah, that's kind of exactly what I wanted right there. Is that actually on the ground? I can't tell. I think it is. It should be. It doesn't look like it, though. It looks like it's almost a level up, but it's not. Okay. And then I'm going to add in another industrial road here. You know, I might do one of these jobbies, where it's a 2-laner going in and then a 1-way coming out. That might look kind of cool to do. That's not on the ground. No, it is. Wow. Okay, so I have to redo this. Let's, we'll make that kind of a ramp right there. We'll come back up here. And we're going to go back to that medium-sized industrial road. That is very strange. I don't know why it's doing that, but that's okay. We can work with that. No big whoop. Okay. I thought that looked a little strange. See, I can sniff out a problem like anybody. We're going to make that far enough off the main path. And yeah, we want 2 lanes going into this thing. We're going to wind line this around a little bit. And we are going to try and connect it to this road. And we're going to make that like a little on-ramp. So hopefully what's going to happen is the trucks will come this way and then deliver goods to that right there. Hopefully the supply chain isn't too terribly long. So let's get some industry in here. I've got a few left from the industries menu. Put some warehouses in there as well too. And I've got so much room here. Can't do a shipyard. No reason to do that. Modular home factory. What does this thing look like? Pretty big. And that's about all the room I have for it. Let's do a warehouse here. Really industrialize this thing up. And let's set this for... We're going to do unique factory products. We'll eventually have to get that hooked up to some electricity. And let's do one more factory here. The only factories that I have left are like the supersized factories, the really, really big ones. Nope, no room for that one. What about that one? Oh, that one I wanted to save. Which one is this? Oh, the soft paper factory. That's kind of got an older look to it, so I wanted to put it next to this abandoned. I might have to bring that over a little bit, but I think these two are going to look really good right next to each other, but we'll expand on that a little bit later. What else do I have left? Oh boy, not much. Wow. And what does this look like? Oh yeah, that's kind of cool looking. Okay. Yeah, let's throw that right here. I think that'll be good. Hopefully this doesn't cause too much traffic. I might have to move those away from the main road going in and out. And let's shoot. What is this? The lemonade? Yeah, we got a room for that one. I would like a long one that runs the other way. Let's see what we got here. I might be out of them. That might be it. Oh, I do have the petroleum refinery, which is, I think I'm going to put somewhere up here somewhere to really give it that industrial look. Or, oh, you know what I could do? This might be... This could solve my problems right here. Stand by. Let's do something like this. And I should make that a one-way eventually. Well, let's go back over to the factories here. And look at that. Fits like a glove. Is that the one that I wanted to put over here, or was it another one? Yeah, I think I'm going to put the petroleum up there. Soft paper factory. Nope, I'm saving that one. Holy mackerel, that's a big factory. That's the shipyard. Maybe it was the petroleum that I was going to put over here. Electronics factory? Oh, that's probably it. Okay, so we want the electronics factory, but I did not build it far enough back. So let's do this. And we're just going to try and sneak that one in here. Gotta have electronics. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to watch this YouTube channel. Okay. Fit that baby in here. Come on. There you go. Should we put it over here? Oh, that might actually look kind of cool if we were to put it right there, too. It looks like they're producing Pepsi, doesn't it? And then we'll put a warehouse over here. And what else did I want to put over here? I think something that looks industrial, but I think I'm going to put a recycling center over here, which is going to cause some pollution. Let's... All right. Waste transaction. You know, I could throw that up here. I'd be fine with that. And let's do a waste transfer facility over here. I like to put my waste transfer facilities in my industrial areas, A, because they look industrial, and it keeps them away from my residential and commercial areas. And so now I need some power for all of this, and because it looks industrial, I'm actually going to put in the... I'm going to give this its own power source. What should we go with here? Probably the geothermal, because it causes a little... There we go. All right, that's looking pretty good. So this is probably going to bring in a lot of traffic. I think what I'm going to do is turn this into a one-way real quick. We'll upgrade that. You might hear my dog Bruce from time to time. He hangs out with me down here, but if he hears a dog barking, he goes crazy. And we'll make that one way in and one way out. Oh, and we need to set this. We'll do all unique factory products. You know, I don't fully understand industries and the expansion. So when you build a warehouse, I'm assuming that the goods come from these large factories, the unique factories, and they get stored there and then they get shipped out to commercial. I think that's the way it works. I always thought it was so that you could store goods for commercial. So any of the things that they needed, for instance, this factory, oh, that's a warehouse. This factory needs planned timber, it needs plastics, it needs glass, it needs metals. And I always thought that when you put a warehouse next to it, it would bring all of those things in for what the factory needed. And maybe they, I guess you can set it for that. Anyway, if you know, leave a comment below. I would love to hear it. And as you can see, we're starting to get some supply problems in here. They're just not getting enough products in there to sell. This is a issue that I've had ever since industries came out. And then my businesses go, the ones that I have saved, they go abandoned. And this has been driving me nuts. Because it's happened in my last two cities. And so what I'm thinking of doing, which I described before, was because this has become such a frequent problem with me, is I think on my next map, I'm just not going to use industries until the end. And that way I can strategically place factories around. Boy, look at that traffic backup right there. Isn't that horrible? Yeah. And, of course, all of it's merging with all of the traffic that we're getting out of this little harbor right here. Yeah, this city has just, it's just been a magnitude of problems. And so part of me is just like, I can't wait to get it done. I've thought about giving up on it many, many times, but yet it's such a pretty city and I've put so much work into it. I just can't see myself doing that right now. Look at this. They're just waiting to get in there. It's like rush hour every day. Let's see if my traffic's actually dropped. I bet it's down 76, down to 76%. Look at that. Shame on me, an experienced city builder, and I can't get my traffic right. But, you know, that's just part of the game. So you got to deal with it. I think I'm going to celebrate with a cocktail when I finally get this city done. All right, so for this portion right here, I just want to decorate this up with some trees and some shrubs. Just to add to the beautification. I can make a city look beautiful, no problem. But can I manage traffic? Not always. My last city, I was hovering at around 92% traffic, which was pretty good for me. And I really thought I had learned some serious lessons in there. And I applied those towards this city, and it just did not work. One of the things with the last expansion, Sunset Harbor, they included the expanded metro rail, and they spiced it up a little bit. And so I'm going to actually use that. I'm just going to have a very simple railway going through with the interchanges to the outside, and then I'm going to do the metro on the inside because from what I understand, it's a lot more efficient from what I was reading. I'm always reading, trying to get better at this, but there's not a ton of stuff for console players out there, and so you kind of have to go based off of what the PC players and but unfortunately they're modded, so they have a lot more tools to their advantage. So the one thing that I've always loved about playing console are the challenges that come with it, because I think if you can play console, you are you're very good at the game because you just don't have the same amount of tools. And I consider us to be a very scrappy bunch. All right, let's make this look purty in here. I would love to put a fence line up along here. Let's do this. See if I can squeeze one in. There you go. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, I've pretty much given up on traffic on this city. I've just been struggling it and redoing roads and having to delete areas that I really like because I was trying to get the traffic correct. And a nice variety of foliage. That's what it's all about. See how pretty that looks? I just have to decorate the middle of this. We're gonna, yeah, let's do some grasses in here and make the middle of the interstate look real nice. Twist and turn. Twist and turn. And let's throw in a few rocks. Boom, boom, boom. I usually start the rocks out one direction, like the band, like the boy band. Throw some rocks in there, and then I twist, and that makes it looks like it's all random. And I just got, oh, my game just lagged out. Wow. Man, I'll tell you what, this city is just bad luck. Okay, that's a good place to end this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to have to rebuild all of that in the next one. You have yourself a great day. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you.